Hello everybody, I am Shepples and welcome to Shepples Reviews Unreal 2. Unreal 2 is a first-person shooter made by Epic Games and it's a sequel to Unreal. The player takes the role of John Dalton, an ex-marine from the military whom has been dismissed and is now a marshal whom patrols the outer rims of human space for any criminal or hostile alien activity. The game starts off where you are on what appears to be a simple rescue mission where the Scar have attacked a human research outpost where an unknown artifact is based. However, it is not the humans that the Scar are after, but the artifact which is in their possession. Before you know it, you and your crew find themselves on a mission to recover these artifacts despite not knowing exactly what they do or symbolize. However, it is not just the military whom are interested in these artifacts, but the Izanagi Corporation, Scar and others that you will have to battle your way through as you make your way through the strange and bizarre planets. The various planets have many different settings to them, such as desert, snow, mechanical, and even one that is a living, breathing creature, giving the player a nice fresh sense of settings with each and every mission. Between each mission you can talk to your crew members and learn more about them, your mission and your equipment. On board you have Isaac, your engineer, who is an alcoholic attempting to become sober and kick the booze once and for all. Laban, who is a liquid alien life form that lives in physical form through his suit and pilots the ship and your dropship. And finally you have Ida, your second in command, mission debriefer and communications between you and the ship during missions. She's also an ex-military personnel who is a genius at tactics and a hero with a dark and very secretive past, and appears to only trust Dalton. As you progress through the game and more of the story unfolds, so does the background of each crew member, including Dalton's history, which is well written and thought out, keeping you on the edge to finish the next mission and find out a little bit more about your crew members. The game has a pretty decent weapon arsenal at your disposal. While at first you may only have a few weapons, but as you go along more become available to you. The weapons include the dispersion pistol, combat assault rifle, shotgun, magnum, sniper rifle, grenade launcher, with different lots of grenades, flamethrower, and much more. However, after the above positives, the problem and issues then begins to surface. Let's start with the gameplay. Unlike Epic Games' previous titles, Unreal 2 is actually quite slow as opposed to the rapid, fast-paced action of Unreal and Unreal Tournament. It is very off-putting for Unreal veterans, and the game just feels extremely slow in comparison to what you're used to. Indeed, the protagonist is in a big-ass suit of armour. However, that should not be an excuse to slow the character right down. It is in fact so slow that it makes it near impossible to dodge attacks, like you are able to do in the other games made by Epic. You cannot dodge left or right by jumping effectively, as all you move is about 2 foot away, and cover 2 does not work very well either. Enemies are often able to shoot you from behind cover, even if you are about 99% covered. This leads me to talking about the enemies. Their AI is not that great, perhaps even to the point that the Unreal Tournament and maybe even Unreal enemies are smarter in many shapes and forms. However, it is not their intelligence that is the issue here. It is the fact that they are seriously overpowered and ridiculously accurate, and when you have 3 or 4 of these enemies firing at you at once, it makes things very difficult. An example of this is like that of the Izanagi troops and mercenaries. They're able to hit you from a good 300-400 meters with an assault rifle with near perfect accuracy with each shot, or 100-200 meters with a shotgun and kill you in a few shots. Yet if you attempted to do this grand feat, you would not be so gracefully awarded. This makes the game very hard and frustrating, especially at higher difficulty settings, as you're going to die. To make things worse, the amount of health pickups are pretty scarce, meaning you will often be trying to survive with minimal health until you find that next health pack and healing station, which may not be for a good few more battles. Along with your health, your battle suit has a shield built into it. However, I find the shield very ineffective and really does not do the exact job that it should. Very often it is felt to me that I didn't even have a shield on me. Basically, the way the shield works is that the higher it is to maximum, the more damage it absorbs. However, even at 100%, you're still going to have health damage, and the only way to recharge your shield is to absorb it from fallen enemies before they disappear, or through a recharge station or pickup, which are few and far between. The weapons, despite being quite numerous, I found were rather disappointing. Most weapons have a primary and an alt fire, however I often found myself only really using either one or the other with the weapons. For example, with the car, I never really used its rapid fire primary fire, as I found it to be way too inaccurate and pretty weak, but I often used its alt fire, which was a single charge shot, which was much more accurate and powerful. Another example was the rocket launcher. Its primary fire is a single rocket shot that explodes on impact and flies in a straight line. The alt fire is where you can target a total of 4 enemies, or 1 enemy 4 times, or 2 enemies twice, and the rocket then splits into 4 smaller rockets. There are problems with each of these different fires. Let's start with primary fire. Very often you will find yourself either too far away from an enemy, or you are in a small area that is just too confined to use it. More times than not, when you have an enemy at a long range away, they will be moving away from the rocket before it even reaches them. When you are close up, and most likely you're going to blow yourself up with them due to confinement. The alt fire has issues such as it takes time for the mini rockets to lock onto the target or targets, and by the time they've locked on and actually been fired, chances are you have taken quite a bit of damage. Even then, they're not very powerful, so you most likely would have to do it once more before killing your target or targets. Overall, I found the weapons to be disappointing and badly designed, again something very unusual and surprising for the likes of Epic Games. Throughout the game you'll find yourself fighting more human enemies than anything else. I found this to be very frustrating, as I was expecting something more like the first Unreal and being lost on an alien planet attempting to survive. Sure, you visit plenty of strange and alien planets, but for about 70% of the game you are fighting against other humans. In my mind, if I wanted to kill human bots, I would just go and play Unreal tournaments, so going to all these alien worlds only to fight humans was really disappointing for me. The story is also really poor from the start to the end. Through the entire game, you really do not know what exactly is going on, only that you have to find these artifacts. You know not what they do or why you have to find them, apart from stopping the Scar corporations getting their hands on them. It doesn't unfold really until the last level, and even then you are treated to one last level with a very disappointing ending. It simply just feels that you just grinded through a game without any real story behind it, and then as soon as it gets interesting, it ends. The ending of the game is so damn bad that they simply use the same ending they used for the first game, where Dalton is left just drafting through space without any ability to do anything apart from wait rescue. Using this ending once is bad enough, but using it for the sequel as well is just damn lazy. The entire story feels like the developers didn't really know where they were going with the story or how they were going to build it up to an end. It just felt like they were saying, well, I'm not sure how to build it up, so let's just do this with the last level and end it there with the same ending as the first game. That will do the trick. Well, it didn't. Overall, Unreal 2 it's a pretty game, with pretty graphics and good storytelling of the main characters in the game, but it just falls apart from near the beginning. With badly designed weapons, slow and sluggish gameplay, imbalanced enemies, bad AI, and boring, almost non-existent storyline, it truly feels that Unreal 2 was a typical example of a developer showing off their latest game engine as opposed to focusing on the actual game itself. I'd give the game a 4 out of 10. It has some positives to it, but overall it is a very poor effort and one that I would not go back and play again. If you'd like to play Unreal 2 for yourself, it can be bought on GOG.com for $9.99, or alternatively, you can purchase the Unreal Anthology on the likes of eBay or Amazon for cheaper, which will give you Unreal, Unreal Return to Nepal, the Unreal Tournament, Unreal 2, and Unreal Tournament 2003. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Thank you, and have fun.